Welcome to another episode of Speak Your Peace. This is powered by Above and Beyond Family Treatment Center, located at 2942 West Lake Street. This is an episode that I'm kind of really touched by. I called somebody at the last minute, and I knew that they was going to support me and come out and share. And, you know, this is a safe space where you can talk about anything. That's why we said Speak Your Peace. Because there's a lot of things going on in the community, in our society, and in our lives that cause us all kind of different ways to either hurt ourselves or to get ourselves together. Today, I'm here with James Presswood. And I think we're going to get a lot of information from this guy, and we're going to ask him some deep questions and just lay out some things that sometimes is very personal. So, you know, sit down, have yourself, and get comfortable, because here we go. So, Mr. Prescott, can you tell me just a little bit about who you are and what you do right now for a living?
Okay, well, like I said, my name is James Presswood. I am, and that's the interesting question. We always hear the question, who are you? And we try to identify with that by letting people know who we are. I'm a young man that grew up in society back in my time about lifestyle changes, and the way things are today is different from when I grew up then. I grew up in a household of 15 kids. I'm the youngest out of 15. And during that age of growing up, I seen a lot of different things. And the way things are, not trying to jump forward too fast, but the way things are today are so different from the way they were back then.
Right.
And I never imagined that the things I've been through growing up as a kid that I'll be going through now, and then being able to overcome that, and then to reflect back on that and look back and say, wow, I've been through that?
Well, before we go backwards, let's go forward. Okay, tell me, what do you do? And where do you work?
Okay, I work at a place called Above and Beyond Family Recovery Center, located, like I said, 2942 West Lake Street. My title is CRSS, which stands for Recovery Support Specialist. And what a recovery support specialist is, it's a field where it's something like case management, but it's a field where we meet the clients where they're at, because we have lived experience of where they come from. So who better to talk to someone that's going through things like that than someone that's been through it? So that's my title. That's what I hold. That's what I do.
That's what you do?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, on the average, how often do you feel that you help someone or put somebody on the right path?
I believe every time someone comes to the door Above and Beyond, and we get them to smile,
yes,
and we talk to them and tell them we're not here to ridicule you or to say bad things to you, but we're trying to let you know that we understand what you're going through or what you're trying to overcome, because we've been through it. I mean, that's the term I use. I've been through what you're going through, so I'm going to meet you where you're at. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to understand what you're going through and try to help you in that process. So basically, that's my job title details. You know, meeting the person where they're at and try to help them get through it. Right.
And at Above and Beyond, they have different people who are specialists in different fields.
Right.
So, you know, you come through the door and you get evaluated, and they set you on your way. They give you a schedule, and you can follow it. It's tailored to you. So one of the first people you're going to run into would be James.
Right.
Or
Rick.
Rick at the front door. You know, the atmosphere there is just a friendly, open atmosphere. And having a place on the west side of Chicago where you can come and get you some help and be involved within the community is a very special thing. But I want to also go back to the community resource specialist, right?
Right.
So what do you do when they come to the door and you can get them to smile? But what do you do when you meet them where they at? What does that involve?
That involves just talking to them, asking them what brings you here, what areas can we help you in, and then as like you said, they do the evaluation, they do the intake. They meet with a case manager or a counselor, and they kind of get more details about what's going on in their life, what they've been through, because we also have a lot of people that come there through their probation officer or parole officer.
Oh, your task.
Or task officer. And some come from recovery homes that's in the process of getting their life together. So we're like an outpatient place. They in inpatient, so they come in to do the outpatient process. And that process involves just continuing your recovery, continuing your life skills, challenges, learning how to deal with it, and sometimes speaking openly in some of the groups that we have there, because we have multiple groups there as well.
Right, James, but what I'm trying to get you to answer is, what about them birth certificates?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we have a department in the back which it's the case management department. We also help them with their birth certificates, social security cards, state IDs, and we do it all for free because we're a nonprofit organization and the state helps us out in those areas. So we also help out with birth certificates, and they feel great to have help like that. Someone helping them get their birth, because you just can imagine how many people come into our facility and don't have state IDs and never heard that we help out with that. So yeah.
Right. And coming to Above and Beyond, people come there and, they get themselves back on path. They get themselves back in the rhythm of becoming productive members of society. And we're doing that. James, what school did you go to get that certificate?
Okay. I'm glad you asked
Yeah.
that. Well, I'm gonna go back a little bit. I'm gonna go back.
That education.
Yeah. I graduated high school. I had a couple years of college at University of Phoenix. I got an associate's degree in business management, which I never pursued. But going through what I went through, dealing with drugs and alcohol, and coming to Above, because I came to Above and Beyond as well as a client.
Okay.
And one thing I loved about that coming through there, they showed me a lot of love, and something I'm used to. So they had a program there that they got me interested in called the CRSS program. And we went through a course at Malcolm X through that course. It's like a 3-month course, a 12 to 16-week course that you go through. And it deals with teach you life skills about how to talk to people, how to communicate with them, how to not to be judgmental, not to use the language such as calling them, stigmatizing them with different names like drug addicts, whether using terms like substance abuse, So I went through that course and graduated through that course, and now I'm about to recertify, take my test again, because every 2 years you recertify and become a CRS all over again. So I'm about to do that again as well.
And the reason I mention that is a lot of people find a niche, as we would say, find a niche, and they go off into school and get different educational opportunities so that they can better deal with the public, better deal with it, and better be able to apply for jobs and things for themselves. And the reason why I'm saying that is to say, when you come to Above and Beyond, or you affiliated with Above and Beyond, because it's not just for drug addicts, it's just people with substance abuses, or it is a place where people who have family needs and family trauma can come and connect and find out how to deal with themselves, their family, and society. And what I want to do is for James to be able to give us some in-depth background about himself. And, as he has already stated, that he has been a client at Above and Beyond, but he's a well-educated man. He's got a lot of life experience, and I want to hear some things from him that has set him on his path to help other people.
Right. Like I said earlier, before, we didn't want to go backwards, first want to go forward. I'm the youngest out of 15 kids, and And like I say, I seen a lot of stuff growing up, dealing with alcohol and drugs, and to be and not try to jump forward too quick, to be where I'm at now, and where I was at then, I would have never thought I would be here helping people as I do now.
Right.
But because I seen it, and I experienced it, back in, I think back in the early 2000s, I started. Well, let's go from the beginning. But when I joined the Army after I finished high school, I went to the Army. My father passed away. He was an alcoholic. So it's kind of when I went back to the Army after basic training, I started drinking. But it was just socializing, because I said I would never be like my father, being an alcoholic. So I started dabbling and drinking. But like I said, that was like in '86. But like in the early 2000s, I started experiencing other drugs. Started seeing people doing it and knowing how it made them feel. And it's just something that I want to test and try to start doing. And it kind of led down the wrong direction. And then it really kind of got in debt to me because I started really using more and more, drinking more and more. And it kind of got my mindset going along that path.
And like you said, once we was talking earlier, we didn't have the information
Right,
that we
that we
do
got now.
today,
Yeah.
or the resources.
Yeah. Because back in those days, it wasn't many resources available, and I think it's really started getting resources when it started by I think it was Ronald Reagan wife talking about just your brain on drugs or just do it and things like that. I think that's really where it got started, and it branched off from there. But now, like you say, nowadays we got more resources for we got more places you can go to get help. And like you said, it's not just about the drugs and alcohol as well. It's about the mental aspect of it all as well too. People start using drugs for a reason, drinking alcohol and using drugs for a reason, because they're dealing with something inside or dealing with a family problem, and then they turn to drugs and alcohol because they feel it's a solution for a little while.
Right, because, drugs and alcohol got such a bad stigmatization to it, or a stereotype connected to it. Nowadays, they're talking about opioids or the fentanyl use. And those are pharmaceutical and doctor-written prescriptions that lead people into the street where they no longer can get those prescriptions. And they looking for a way to stop the pain that should have been tapered off, the strength of those drugs and what they knew they would do to people, and they kept giving it to us. So now we got a group of people out, well, this generation of people, it's almost like AI Gen X. That's out looking for a solution to what has been given to them in such a detailed and kind of dramatic way. But the help is out there.
Yes.
And it's and I hate to say above and beyond, like that. I had the doors open. I had everybody in Chicago open, if I could, because you can find some things that really help you. But I'm gonna let you continue, James, in telling your story, because I want to. I want to know.
Okay, because it's kind of like you say, it's stigmatized, and then nowadays with these drugs that they got out of here, it's not really the drugs no more. It's like the chemicals that they put in them that get you addicted to them.
Like nicotine.
Yeah, like nicotine, and like you say with the like the opiates, they put all these different types of chemicals in there, such as the one you just mentioned, what's the name of it again?
Fentanyl.
And fentanyl is really a painkiller.
Right.
And also, like with these opiates, they put a lot of sleep medicine in them, and that's what the feeling that they get now. Because in dealing in the field that I'm dealing in, we do the random drops, and when people come in, they do drops. They say that they use heroin, and they won't even show up in a cup.
Right.
Because it's not opioids no more. It's mostly all the stuff, the chemicals that they put in there. But to get back to what you were saying about me and my drug use, I was like an alcoholic using and smoking cocaine. Even with the cocaine nowadays, they thought put fentanyl in there. A few years ago, before I became clean, I was saying about 6, 7 years ago, I kind of OD'd off cocaine. And we never thought you could OD off those things like that. But like I said, they put those opiates in it, and those, the fentanyl in there, which causes you to think that you're getting high off something else.
And another
Kinda
thing
like
about the cocaine, they said that was the rich man's drugs. The
Right.
information that you get, you got to be careful where you get your information from,
Yeah.
because the information that you have may not be the correct information.
Yeah.
You got to go to a good source. You just can't listen to your buddy in the street, because remember, he using too.
Yeah.
So-
That's what the term of misinformed information by misinformed people.
People, right?
That's
There
where it
you
come
go.
from,
There
yeah.
you go. Yeah. So can you continue for me?
So one of the reasons why I decided to, I think where I decided to stop using drugs, drinking alcohol, because I felt the damage that was not only doing to myself, but it was my family, my kids growing up. My daughter, I lost relationship with her. I started going in and out of prison, cause dealing with trying to support my habit of drinking, and it just, and like I said, I'm a veteran, so, and the veterans got a lot of connections and a lot of things that go on that they help us with. So, and that was another main reason why I decided to stop and seek the help. But if you told me years ago I'd be in this field doing the work that I'm doing, I would tell you no, not me.
I want to hit on that veteran piece that you just spoke on. I also see that a lot of it, because I got veterans in my family as well, and some of them with the mental aspect, and then the drugs use on top of it. Things they trying to forget, things they trying to not, to block out, to cope with, things that happened to them while they was in the army. From basic training on up, because they develop a whole new character of a person. Whenever you go into the army, you being developed to something else, and you get a lot of veterans that they just change, and they need a lot of different avenues to even to scratch the surface. So, being connected with the VA, being connected with Malcolm X, being connected with Above and Beyond, those are all good resources. And a lot of times veterans don't even know that they have those resources. And I see veterans coming to Above and Beyond, and they be like, they even have housing especially built and tailored for veterans.
Yes.
And to get those type of messages out, those are some of the services that Above and Beyond has, and some of the connections, and they have linkage agreements with different places to help. So if any veterans are out there listening to this, Above and Beyond is a place where you can come and get you some information, get you some help, and get you some directions. And I keep cutting James off, but we going right back over to James.
And just like Memory said, we also help out with housing and employment there as well. And what I mean, we help out. We have resources to get you into the system, like the CHA system or the HUD system. And from there, we ask that you continue to, when the clients come in inside, because we mostly, right now, our housing and employment is for the clients there, but we do help outside community, and we're getting backed up so far now that they have kind of put a pause on it for the outside community because it's backed up. They're giving out appointments to March, but for the clients, those are our main people that we're trying to help, because they're seeking the help that they need.
Right.
Coming through the program, and they kind of, I ain't gonna say they're more serious about it, but we're kind of advocating for them more better than we try to help, the other ones outside, because it's a connection that, like Memory said, we have a linkage with a lot of different organizations, like Thresholds, Breakthrough, another company called, I think it's called, the Linkage of Care is called, not Sparks, but Strife. It's located on, I think I'm saying it right. It's located on Madison and Central. We have a linkage with them now. They also help us with housing for our clients as well.
Right. This facility this organization Above and Beyond. And I keep referring back to them because when you get there and you come someplace and you at your bottom. You at your bottom. You come in, you don't have ID, you don't have Social Security card, you don't have nowhere to go once you turn around and walk out the door. You don't even have a decision on that. You just know that you're going back out in the cold or back out on the block. You come in there and they start working on you and getting you step by step by step. One day you look up and you going upstairs and you going to look for you an apartment. When you get the apartment, you're going to look for you some furniture. They got to link you with the Chicago Furniture Place.
A company called Digs with Dignity.
Digs with Dignity, and it's so much. Yeah. But I'm going to let James finish this out. We got about 5 more minutes. So if you want to say something, James, that's real personal to these people, go for it.
And like Memory said, the thing about Above and Beyond, also, and we try to knock no other facility because when you come into Above and Beyond, the doors are not locked. You don't have to get buzzed in. A lot of other organizations, you have to get buzzed in. You got to sign in. Excuse me. You got to let the people know where you're going and what you're there for. But with Above and Beyond, you just come in the door and we actually, we greet you. How can we help you? You come up to the desk, tell us what's going on, and people feel free to do that. They look around like, no security guard here. No security guard, They don't feel threatened. Yeah, they don't feel threatened. Like you say, the door, you don't have to get buzzed in or wait to get let in. And like I said, we try to stigmatize no other organization, but a lot of organizations, you got to wait for to get buzzed in, and you got to have appointments to get in there. We do a walk-in service as well.
Right.
We do first come, first serve. Because when we're on the internet, and they see that, and they still call and ask, "What do we need to make an appointment?" No, just come in.
Because this is a place where you hear people now, these facilities saying they harm reduction. Above and Beyond originate the harm reduction model, where people meet you where you are. Even if you mess up, they tell you to come back the next day or come back when you can, and we're going to still help you. That is what harm reduction is. It's meeting you where you are, not giving you an appointment, not telling you that you can't come in unless you go to some of these facilities. You got to be high to even start the facility. Because you got to meet a certain criteria, not here. So if you need help today, and believe me, if you call that number, the life you save may very well be your own. And this will Speak Your Piece. We talk about anything and everything. And I want you to know that this is a safe place to speak about different things in our community. And I just talk about Above and Beyond because it's the place that it sponsors this for me to be here with this, but it has the avenue, and it's nothing like helping somebody help themselves. And if you ever been on drugs, this is something you need to talk about. So with that, I thank you, James, for coming out, especially at the last, Mr. Presswood. Thank you for coming out, and we're going to have you here again, and I'm looking forward to whatever is going on because I know you are one of those people that really help other people, and I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me, Memory. Thank you.
And this is Speak Your Piece. Bye.
Bye.